Kaylee here with you. And do you still use cash when you're going out and about? What do you use cash for as well? Maybe like me, there's some places you go and they only accept cash. It's the only place you can use it. Maybe for you, there's sort of certain things here and there you like to have a bit on you. So how much do you have on you at the moment? Open that wallet, open that purse. 0800 389 7321 to call. Or you can WhatsApp 08000 321 333. Make sure you stick Norfolk at the start, because 1 in 5 shop purchases are now made in cash. And the British Retail Consortium have said that cash payments rose for a second year in a row after a decade of falling. While the amount spent per purchase has fallen, notes and coins were used in a fifth of all transactions. And people saying, look, this is helping me budget better. If you're over 65, only 8% of over 65s made regular payments with their mobile. If you're looking at 18 to 24-year-olds, 72% of them would pay with their phone. So do you use this? Do you mainly stick to cash still? And what do you use it for? And particularly looking at Christmas and presents, and particularly with grandchildren and nieces and nephews and things, do you still give cash as a gift? Do you still put cash in a card, or do you do something else now? 08000 321 333, my WhatsApp. Stick Norfolk at the start. And let's catch up with Amy Knight, who's a personal finance expert from Nerd Wallet UK. Amy, good morning.
Morning, Kaylee.
Oh, so talk me through this. We're using cash more, which I didn't expect, to be honest, because it feels like these days you're encouraged not to use cash. So it's an interesting one, this, isn't it?
It's very interesting. It's a reversal in the trend, as you said, over the last decade. The number of cash payments has been going down, and debit and credit cards still make up about 3/4 of all transactions. But the proportion of transactions where cash is used has gone up 2 years in a row. So now it's almost 20%. So that's quite significant.
And what are the benefits? What are the benefits to paying with cash rather than maybe card?
The thing with cash is you can see where you stand. You can see how much you've got left. And for people who are having to live on quite a tight budget, as many of us are with the cost of living, cash can make that a little bit easier. There's a trend that's been going around on social media, but it actually harks back to long ago, old-fashioned budgeting, and it's called cash stuffing, where you allocate a portion of your monthly income to all your different outgoings, whether that's bills, food, clothes, whatever it might be. You put that money in an envelope, and that's what you use. That's your budget for that particular expense, and that can help people to stay on track and avoid overspending.
And I know some of the stats looking at this, but from sort of people you speak to, I mean, is there a particular person that uses cash more than somebody else? What's the trend there?
It's been the case that younger people have adopted the digital payment methods quite readily, quite easily. Certainly generations who've grown up with smartphones and smartwatches are finding that very, very convenient. Whereas older people, they may be less confident to use those digital payment methods, but also, unfortunately, elderly people are often a little bit more vulnerable to scams and fraud, and that can make them more wary of using those digital payment methods. They feel a little bit more comfortable and confident using cash.
And it's interesting, I mean, particularly, looking at this time of year, but I guess, carrying cash does still come with some risk. I'll be really honest, the reason I don't carry a lot of cash is because I am forgetful, I am clumsy, I lose things all the time. So for me, the idea of losing £20 is terrifying, whereas I'm more like, if I've got one thing where I've got everything in one place, that's better for me. But I guess there is still some risk at carrying cash sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. We all need to use our common sense and not publicise how much cash we're carrying about. If you are going to use the cash stuffing method, it's probably a good idea to only take out the envelope that you need. So if you've got an envelope of cash that you're going to use to buy your Christmas shopping, if you're going present shopping, for example, only take out what you need.
And when it comes to Christmas, because I think we're all just going, oh gosh, what have I still got to get? And you've got to balance like the food and the presents and everything else that comes at this time of year alongside all the bills. For some reason as well, my car's due for a service this time of year, which is a terrible time of year to try and factor that in.
Way.
So what Christmas budgeting tips have you got for us for this year?
If you're going to use cash, make sure you've got a list before you hit the shops. When you're shopping in physical stores, you've not got the added complication of being bombarded with online adverts and promotions and discounts. So that can be helpful. That can make it easier to stay focused on what you've actually gone in there to buy. So that's a really good place to start. factor in the fact that you might be having an early payday. So a lot of us will get wages in our account a bit earlier in December than a typical month. So just think ahead. So the outgoings you're going to have to face in January, and consider moving a little bit of your money away somewhere separate so you've got it for the new year before you go Christmas shopping. And I'd also say, if you're considering using cash as a gift, that can be really helpful, particularly for kids who might not have a bank account yet, or also young people or anybody in your family where you're not exactly sure what it is they want. Then you've not got the issue of waste. You know that they'll be able to put that money towards something they really love.
Oh, it's lovely to catch up. Amy, thank you so much. Amy Knight from NerdWallet UK. So, I don't know, are you giving cash as gifts for Christmas? And have you been using a bit more than maybe you were? 0800 389 7321 to call.
Oh, I live quiet.